This year, the first European Grand Prix is also the first San Marino Grand Prix. And since the Republic has no racetrack of its own, it's being held on the magnificent 3.1-mile circuit at nearby Imola. To the delight of the partisan crowd, their idol, the French-Canadian Gilles Villeneuve, is right back on top in pole position in the revised 1.5-litre turbo Ferrari. And how is the grid going to get away as the lights go green? Let's watch. It's a lovely getaway for Carlos Reutemann, who's going to take the lead as they come up to the first left-hander at the Tamburello. But as he does so, it's one of the Ferraris that are punching through, and it's Gilles Villeneuve, and right behind him, Didier Pironi. Reutemann is in third position. Alan Jones is in fourth place. So already on the first half lap, the two turbo Ferraris are in the lead, and that's Angel Guerra, the Argentine driver, in the Osella car, who is off and is still in the cockpit, and I wonder why he's not getting out. He wasn't unconscious, I saw his head move, but there goes Pironi, followed by the two Williams. Rene Arnoux is well up, and there's Nelson Piquet, the man who won the Argentine Grand Prix, down in about 8th position, as Villeneuve is pulling away already. There's a Ferrari flag being waved by one of the spectators. So, towards the end of lap 1, as they come down to the Rivazza, Villeneuve leads from Pironi. Then it's Carlos Reutemann. Villeneuve really gets the rear end out as he goes round the left-hander coming out of the Rivazza. Now he's into the Traguardo to the end of lap 1. Ferrari leads Ferrari. Villeneuve, Pironi. Then the white Williams, the Saudi Leyland Williams car of Carlos Reutemann. And there is Guerra. That's why he didn't get out of the car. Obviously, his left foot is trapped. You can see his right leg is quite clear, and he's easing himself out of the car. And look at Alan Jones's car. Alan Jones's front aerofoil is badly bent. He's hit a car somewhere, and he can't go on like that. It will affect the handling of the Williams. Alan Jones into the pits, and the nose is coming off. It's quite clear why he came in. Alan Jones has not only had a new nose put on the car, but he's having dry tyres put on. And I wonder if that is a wise decision. There is Alain Prost. Alain Prost is into the pits. And this is the world champion Alan Jones, who, of course, is way down the field. He has been in to have that new nose fitted and is driving on dry tyres. And it would seem that the race must be in the bag now for Villeneuve and Pironi, provided they can just keep going. That's the only question in my mind. Will the Ferraris be reliable? That's Villeneuve into the pits. Gilles Villeneuve has gone into the pits. He must have heard me speaking and decided he'd proved me wrong. Pironi goes through into the lead. Petresi goes up into second place. Piquet is coming up at fast, and there is Pandemonium, Italian Pandemonium in the pits. The amazing thing is that Villeneuve, like Alan Jones, has opted to fit dry tyres. And we look at the battle now behind Rene Arnoux for 7th place. It's Mario Andretti in the Alfa Romeo in 7th place. Giacomelli in the second red and white car is in 8th position, and that's another Alfa. Then behind Giacomelli, it's De Cesaris, Andrea De Cesaris, the young Italian in the Marlboro McLaren. And behind them in 10th place in the blue car is the young American driver, Eddie Cheever. Oh, that's Jabouille. Poor Jean-Pierre Jabouille, the French driver. Andretti, Giacomelli, De Cesaris and Cheever go through, battling for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th places. And there is Jabouille again. And Villeneuve, in that clutter of people, somewhere is Villeneuve, who I am told is changing back to wet tyres, and how wise he is and how wrong he was to come in for dry tyres. Alan Jones has given it best. Alan Jones has given it best, like Villeneuve. Look at the tyres, see the grooves, Mark Seur are the same. Both Jones and Sura, who were on wet tyres, dry tyres, have decided to come in and give themselves a chance to get grip by going on to wet tyres. Riccardo Patrese in the arrows, car number 29, and chasing him very hard indeed, 28-year-old Nelson Piquet from Brasilia. Now look, there's Pironi. Now how far behind him are Patrese and Piquet? There is the answer, because that's Patrese and Piquet coming out of the Variante Bassa into the Traguardo to complete another lap. And Piquet has now well and truly got the second place man, Riccardo Patrese, in his sights. And that's Eliseo Salazar. Eliseo Salazar, the Chilean driver in the march, has stalled his car at the Variante Bassa, and a very confused and unhappy looking marshal who doesn't know whether to wave his flag, push the car or get out of the way. It's illegal to push start the car even if they can get it going, and they have. They must be a lot stronger than they look. And now De Cesaris is challenging Giacomelli, and he's bundled his way through. Giacomelli, a very difficult man to get past, and De Cesaris, his countryman, would have nothing of it. He's just forced his way through. So Andrea De Cesaris is getting up. He's in 7th position now, ahead of Giacomelli, who is 8th, and ahead of them René Arnoux in the Renault. Now there is the leader, Pironi. Where is Piquet? There he is, and somebody off. It's an Alfa Romeo off. It looks, yeah, it's Bruno Giacomelli. You remember, Giacomelli was fighting, and Chiva's off. Chiva and Giacomelli have taken each other off. Well, Chiva obviously very unhappy, and Pironi must be unhappy because he can see behind him in his mirrors now Nelson Piquet, who is behind Patrick Tambay. Now watch for the orange car in the background. There is Patrese, who is 3rd. There are the 1st, 2nd and 3rd men, with Tambay moving over and letting Piquet through. And now Piquet can set about the one man in this race that matters to him, and that's Didier Pironi in the turbocharged Ferrari, who is in the lead. And Piquet challenges. He came right up alongside the rear wheel of the Ferrari. He's pushing, he's really pushing for the lead now, and he needs to, because Patrese is going to be worrying Piquet before very much longer. And Salazar off again. It's not his day, one way and another. You'll see he has a broken front wing, and it looks as though he's out of the race altogether. Piquet is an incredible young man. He's got a very much older head on his shoulders than the 28 years that he has lived. Piquet really challenges right up alongside. Had Pironi needed all his cool there to stay where he was entitled to be and force Piquet to brake. Piquet's giving him a very hard time, and in fact Piquet is having the hardest time of all on the circuit, because on the one hand he's got Pironi in front of him, on the other hand, in the spare moments when he's got to look in his mirrors, he will see Patrese there getting closer and closer, and he's making his challenge. Piquet is challenging, and he's through. We have a new race leader. This is the 3rd different leader we've had on lap 48, this is. And Nelson Piquet is now through. Nelson Piquet is the 3rd leader. We had Villeneuve, then we had Pironi. Now we have Nelson Piquet in this great motor race at San Marino. Reutemann challenging Didier Pironi. And that is interesting because it means that Patrese is through. Yes, Didier Pironi, who led the race for so long in the Ferrari, dropped back to 2nd place, and now he's going to drop back to 4th because Reutemann goes through. Carlos Reutemann goes through into 3rd position, and that could make a big difference to him because it means that he gets 4 championship points if he finishes in 3rd position. And that's Villeneuve. Villeneuve has slowed right. Look how slow the Ferrari's going. He's slowed right down. But I was wrong. Something's gone wrong. He speeds up again, but not nearly enough. Villeneuve is in trouble. And they're on the last lap, and there's tremendous excitement because those four contain Patrese, who is second, Reutemann, who is third. The white car behind Patrese is Torbe, and Watson is challenging him for 10th position. And Reutemann is being blocked from getting at Patrese and hoping to get second place. Watson coming down to the Ravazza, and he's going to go through and take 10th position. He's really bullying his way past Torbe, and he's done it. Watson goes up to 10th, Torbe goes down to 11th. And there, as Alan Jones comes through, followed by Jean-Pierre Jabouille, is Nelson Piquet on the apex of the corner, coming through to win the San Marino Grand Prix, his second Grand Prix victory in succession. 9 points for the World Championship, a superb drive. Patrese finishes second over the line, behind him Carlos Reutemann, and as a result of that there's a change of course in the World Championship positions, because that means to say that Carlos Reutemann is still leading with 25 points now, but there is the man who is now second, Nelson Piquet, with 22 points. Alan Jones goes down to third, Patrese is fourth, and Alain Prost in fifth position, after a very exciting San Marino Grand Prix, and the next one is in Belgium on May the 17th.